gonna now have it that will hold the figure, right? You've got like a sticker in there, but AJ pushed it. But again, we always have the buttons you can push. We always have the buttons you can push.
Always have the buttons you can push.
Guy forgets a little button on top of a Batmobile one time, and he never hears the end of it. Well, okay, maybe it was during a couple of live streams, but that's to be expected, right? Because I'm Robo. This here's the rewind. Keeping with Todd and McFarlane Toys and New York Comic Con, their panel was held after the last rewind posted. So let's swing back around to the DC Multiverse reveals. Well, okay, first, they announced some more tiers to kind of clarify their exclusive system. You know what I'm talking about. We already know there's gold and platinum, where gold label is usually store exclusive of some kind. Platinum was either always a chase color scheme or a completely different character altogether. Well, they've kind of separated those two aspects apart. Kinda. In an attempt to clarify things, the Platinum Edition will stay as a color chase variant. It's the same character, just in a different paint scheme. Unique character chases will be red platinum. It's the platinum sticker in red. Now I get it, some characters are just not as high profile as the big guns, and McFarlane's finding a way to slip those in to big box stores. Hey, Walmart, Target, here's a case of Justice League figures with Superman and Batman, eat it up. Nom 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 nom. Oops, slipped in a question and some lesser knowns in there, but it's okay because it'll create foot traffic for your stores, so everybody still wins, right? Unless you're a collector trying to hunt down these unique characters and they're hard to find because they're not near as available as the rest of the case. I get it. I understand the business side of things, but I'm a collector first. So I'm not a millionaire running his own toy company who can do whatever the hell they want. And it apparently works because they keep doing it. To add yet another level of word salad to the titles, there's also gold platinum for even more unique items that come with more unique things, apparently. So it's the platinum sticker in gold. Not the gold label sticker in gold. Me, I would have went with something like diamond or sapphire, ruby. Start down that road. Make different colors altogether with a different word to correspond with that color. But again, what do I know? I'm just some jackass talking about toys on the internet. For actual DC Multiverse reveals, they kick the door in hard with Orion, Wildcat, Aqualad, and Superman. I'm not familiar with this version of Aqualad, so it's cool, but not for me. Orion looks amazing. Yeah, it's a dude in a red jumpsuit with some blue accents and a helmet, but that Astro harness just adds so much to the presentation. Fleischer Superman is interesting. That darker color scheme sitting on the DC Multiverse body, okay, it's neat. We're still against Happy Supermans, but I like this costume. But Wildcat is the winner for me. Like I said when Mr. Terrific was revealed, I'm a JSA guy, and I'm even more of a fan of those grizzled old men on the team. You know who I'm talking about, where there's these kids around here, I guess I'll teach them how to fight and then go out and still run with them. Next up, they showed the Justice League Task Force build a Darkseid wave. I don't remember this fighting game at all, but when I saw the pictures, I thought, that's a lot of hair. Gotta be the 90s. Before I walked out here, all I had was a picture from the panel from Preternia on X. But as I've been standing here this short amount of time, I got a beep on the phone and these actually went up for pre-order. So I'm just seeing the pretty promo pics for the first time. And at first I was interested in the 16-bit paint jobs. I thought, okay, that's cool. I like when they take a 2D paint scheme and apply it to a 3D object. And that's exactly what they did, but in my brain, it's almost too pixelated. It's like JPEG damage or something. I think Aquaman's face says it all, huh? Well, okay. Another thought. All their faces say it all. It's almost like regular people in costumes that are made to look 16-bit because the process doesn't apply to everything on the figure. The skin tones are just painted solid. It still achieves the effect, and it is kinda neat, but it's also gimmicky and unnecessary, other than getting the top names out there again. It's another variant for the bodies with some new parts to put Superman and Batman and Aquaman and Flash back out there. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. It seems to be selling fairly well, so I guess I'm just in grumpy old man mode today. Wildcat set the pace right off the bat. Just, dang kids and their 16-bit paint. I don't know what Red Swamp Thing is, but it's getting a mega figure. The Batman and Robin Batmobile adds yet another vehicle to the ever-growing Wayne garage, because, man, he's just kicking them out, isn't he? I think I'm more interested in the Joker and Murray Franklin set for the TV set than the actual figures. Well, okay, there is something tempting about a Robert De Niro action figure, but I already have a pretty good third-party Joaquin Phoenix Joker, so... But, I'm already buying 7/8 of this set. I guess I won't mind having another Joker figure. We already knew about the current wave of collector editions, except for the Target exclusive Geoforce. I guess they're waiting around for the next Target Geek Out, or maybe it'll just pop up on pegs in stores next week. One or the other, or both, or who knows anymore. There's a Thomas Wayne Batman and Zoom 2-pack on the way. There's guns included, so it's labeled 17+, not a toy. Legalities and loopholes and ways to get toys with our toys. Woo! To finish DC Multiverse out with a bang during the panel, the next collector edition wave will have Captain Cold, Power Girl, and Guy Gardner. Ooh, I'm interested in seeing what the platinum editions of these 3 figures are. And then the red platinum editions, the gold platinum editions, the platinum editions, where it's the same sticker, just a little bit shinier. Hard to distinguish from the regular platinum edition, but it's okay, we'll never see them in stores. Boy, I am grumpy today. This is going to come to a complete surprise to a lot of you, but I didn't even know Terrifier was a thing until this year. I guess I had seen Art the Clown here and there, but it was more of a, that's a scary looking clown, I wonder what he's from. But now one of my kids works at the local movie theater, so I'm hearing all about it. And I'm seeing the posters when I go by there, and everything, and the trailers, and I think, oh, okay, it's essentially 80s horror in 2020s, or something like that. I haven't actually seen the movies, I just know a bit more than I did. When I saw the Mezco 1/12 Collective Art the Clown Deluxe Edition, I was like, okay, I know what that is. Kinda. This seems to be the kind of character that is right up Mezco's alley, and it's not just for the blood or the gore. The clothes have a baggy feel to it, it fits right into the soft goods aesthetic. They usually Mezcofy likenesses of their movie figures, but here it's covered in face paint. It doesn't matter. It still looks pretty damn accurate. The paint does most of the heavy lifting here. And then they love their crazy weapons and tools and accessories, so ooh, bum bum. And that all may sound like I'm dogging on 1/12 Collective, but I'm not. I'm not. They just have a certain aesthetic, and they do superheroes with the skin-tight costumes, but it's the loose clothes, it's the regular clothes people that stand out in my mind when it comes to this line. Speaking of, they held their RumbleCon during New York Comic Con last week, but that was after the last rewind, so let's take a look at what they revealed when it comes to Rumble Society. Well, I say revealed, we've seen Tangerine several times, but the promo pictures here look like solicitation pictures that we see at the end of a pre-order. So maybe she's getting closer and closer and closer. We've also seen Woodford in several displays and pictures, but seeing him in this frog leg kick shot, oh, that's pretty sweet. He's Doc Nocturnal's butler, but he can still kick butler. That mummy is also eye-catching. We need to get more villains, more bad guys for Doc Nocturnal to fight. So conveniently enough, here's Crab Louie. He showed up in the last stop motion to help the Carbone brothers out, but really it's just another member for the Decapod gang. Doc Nock also needs a smooth ride, and the Land Reaper fits that bill perfectly. Hell, even if you're not into Rumble Society, it's still a pretty nice looking steampunkish car that may find its way into your display somewhere else. Veering out of that corner of the Rumble universe, here's Alistair Gangrene and Baron Benz in Leviathan armor. Finally, it feels like it's been a while since I've paid attention to any Gomez variants, so this 1975 version just looks like a bad mother—
Shut your mouth.
I'm just talking about Gomez. As promised, Fresh Monkey Fiction has posted another Bizarre World of Naughty or Nice picture. This time around, there's not as many changes to the figure itself as we saw a couple of weeks ago. For Patch, they changed the eyes and mouth to be more sinister and then added boots and untorn pants. The same boots and pants we're seeing on Peter this week, but that's how the original renderer was presented a year ago. Even the head is the same, with more of a calm look to the facial features on the side of a pumpkin, you know what I mean. Peter wears a flannel shirt, and somehow that makes him more scary. He's a bit more put together. Think about it, he's a seasonal demon that wakes up, puts his shirt on, buttons it up, rolls the sleeves, and then goes out to create carnage with a blank stare on his face. Okay. Or what if Patch is the troublemaker out there stalking prey in the pumpkin patches, and Peter's life mission is to stop his sibling? He lives a simple life out of the public eye, away from humanity, off in the woods somewhere for 11 months of the year. Then on October 1st, like clockwork for the past 1,000 years, Patch resurrects himself to go out and cause chaos on the community. So Peter has to leave his simple life to track him down, which is difficult because he looks just like Patch. He's out there trying to protect the people, but those same people turn around and, yeah, officer, that's him. That's the demon that slayed my family. And he's all, that wasn't me, that was Patch. No. He's got 31 days to put his brother in the ground or all hell breaks loose. Is it naughty or nice? Or naughty and nice? Or maybe they have their own tale that we'll find out during pre-orders next week, but now the whole pumpkin yin and yang story stuck in my head. Oh well. Being the busy little fresh monkeys they are, there's also a new Operation Monster Force variant available for pre-order on Big Bad Toy Store for their 25th anniversary. This is the Nightshade Unit Delta Red, and as far as I can tell, it's the, more words, Delta Red Nocturnal Operations in a slightly different color scheme. The blurb reads, join Declan Van Helsing and his Delta Red unit for Operation Nightshade as they plan a rescue mission for the Senator Goldie Hawk, who was kidnapped by the Forgotten King's Kilowog Night Hunters, which ties nicely into the Kilowog release that should happen any day now. Like I said, the colors are slightly tweaked. It'll still fit into the army, but it also comes with a redecoed Declan head with kind of a camo motif. So yeah, just another addition for that collection. Oh, it's that time of the month where Medicom rolls out their latest pair of MAFEX pre-orders, starting with Shazam! Fury of the Gods. We all know that they like to take their sweet time when it comes to movie figures. They let the dust settle and then attempt to produce something that's as accurate as possible. Now, I have not seen this movie, but after some Googling and some comparing, yeah, this is essentially what they put in the film, which means all new sculpt. Now, the costume is similar to what we saw in the first film, and this figure is fairly similar to what we saw with the previous release, but no, everything is new. Two of the heads have the same expressions as the first release, but no, not a lick of reuse that I can see. Even the accessories like the lightning finger hands and the blue blast on the chest logo are unique this time around, even though they are only slightly tweaked compared to the originals. All in all, it looks good. I like the build. That stands out to me. But like I said, I haven't seen the movie, so I'm just kind of admiring from afar. The MAFEX Jim Lee X-Men Jubilee has me going back and forth though. On one hand, I love what Medicom does with this series. Just some nice looking artist-specific figures from one of my favorite comic book teams ever. Well, okay, maybe not this specific iteration. I'm more of a before and after 90s X-Men kind of guy, but I can appreciate these figures. I can appreciate these looks. I can admire the effort that companies put into these looks. And that's where I'm stumbling. I have a perfectly fine Jim Lee X-Men team on my shelf, thanks to Hasbro. Well, I say that. I do use Gambit with a Marvel Legends head. I know, blasphemy! And then I think I have a couple more mixes and matches. But for the most part, Marvel Legends has knocked them out for a quarter of the price of a MAFEX figure. Even if they don't nail it the first time around, I can buy the next version where they tweak some things, improve some parts, and I'm still at half price of a MAFEX figure. Not that I don't think these are worth the money, because I've bought a few of these too, but that's where I'm at, especially with Jubilee. Although she does come with some power effects. They're not great power effects, but they're still substantial power effects. The heads look good, the jacket looks great, But you know what's keeping me from pre-ordering this? The yellow gloves. I know that is such a tiny thing to trip over, but my Jubilee wears blue gloves. I just feel that it balances out the whole costume better. There's the blue boots, the blue shorts, the blue gloves. That breaks up the yellow. Some of these pictures look like the jacket is long sleeved when it's not. It just blends together too good. And again, I know that's just a tiny little nitpick, but that's how my brain works. Because most of all, and don't take this as a negative because I've come around to the show, but isn't the yellow gloves from the X-Men animated series? Hell, I think this pose is from the cartoon. I think the comics adopted that at some point later, but I was out of comics by then. So again, my Jubilee, blue gloves. I don't know if I can do the yellow. So yeah, I have my preferences. These don't fit within those preferences. I already have a good Jubilee on my shelf. So I'm passing, I guess. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you like it, get it. Don't listen to me. I'm just up here. While we're talking Marvel, let's jump over to the Bandai SH Figuarts Venom The Last Dance Venom. Yeah, I'm one of those guys that enjoyed the first two movies just because of the big dumb fun of Tom Hardy. I didn't care for Carnage or whoever the villain of the first movie was. I can't even remember now. But for me, it's all about Tom Hardy essentially talking to himself through the whole thing. I love those interactions. And up to this point, I've been happy with the Marvel Legends release. It's big. It looks like Venom. Boom, on the shelf, done. That's because I didn't care for the blue tints of the first SH Figuarts Venom. I thought it looked out of place. So again, Marvel Legends, do your job. Be Venom on my shelf. At least until Bandai did this. This new version fixes that by changing the finish to a deep, dark, shiny black. That's what I'm talking about. Along with the eyes having that glossy look to them with kind of a fade. The Marvel Legends is just kind of white on a black body with the lightning bolts painted on. This feels more cohesive. Everything blends together better and looks more accurate to the movie. The figure comes with the two same back tentacles as the first release, but unfortunately Bandai is not including the Venom head that attaches to other figures' backs. That one hurts, because again, that's my favorite part of those movies, when Eddie is just talking to Venom and they're kind of split. Their interactions, they're dynamic. But you do have to hand it to Bandai. They knocked the price down 500 yen because it's not as much stuff as the first release. You don't see all the companies doing that. No pre-orders just yet. Should open up next week. I think it's November 1st. While I was grabbing those Venom pictures, I ran across the Bandai SH Figuarts Tekken 8 King. I talked about Nina Williams a few weeks ago, simply in the, hey, here's a cool spy-looking figure for your shelf capacity. When I did that, I established that, and again, another big surprise for y'all, I don't know a lot about Tekken, except for King. So when I saw these pictures, I thought, okay, that is kind of neat. It's a big muscle guy in wrestling gear and a slightly small feline head. What's not to love? Not sure about the segmented plastic cape, though. Figuarts has been doing a lot more wired fabric capes lately, so I don't know why they went back to this. And again, it's a matter of opinion, which we'll get to here in a minute, so it's back and forth. If you like the plastic, here you go. If you like the cloth, well, I guess you could always replace it, but I can only think that they did this to match up with Nina. But then a diamond cutter wins me right back. Or is that an RKO? It depends on the positioning before they get to this point. Same as Venom, no pre-order just yet. Should go up next week. We're not done with Bandai yet, though. We've been seeing them refresh some of their older SH Figuarts Star Wars figures lately, like Darth Vader and Han Solo, and Chewbacca and R2 and C-3PO and a few others. They are all re-releases with a minor tweak or two, mostly for the better. And that's good. Some of those figures are 6, 7, 8 years old. So getting them back out on the market for new collectors so they can grab them at decent import prices, ain't nothing wrong with that. Late last night they posted this picture of Obi-Wan Kenobi from A New Hope, and it's the same formula. It's mostly the same figure, slightly changed. Same torso, same legs, I'm assuming, behind that same overlay that hangs down. Same head, but it's improved with a cloth robe. And again, that's just personal preference. But going back and looking at the original release of Obi-Wan Kenobi, the robes were not great. That and putting the plastic hood up on the first figure did not look great at all. It was so bad that I threw a custom soft goods robe over that body just so it would look better. So I guess Bandai, where's my paycheck? No. It looks like they took it a step further by resculpting the arms underneath the robe. The first one had robe wings, where it was sculpted to hang down a bit, but if you did any poses, you got blades sticking out, weapons. I know we only have this one picture, but looking close at the wrist, it seems to be just the tan undershirt that's on the actual arm now. I know from firsthand experience, since I did it, putting cloth over the original arms makes it bulky, and it still gives you that same problem of sticking out if you go for any other pose than this or this. This seems to make it feel more natural, and that's a lot of words for one picture, but it's Star Wars, it's A New Hope, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. You knew what you signed up for when you clicked the button on this video. So I may be in the market here, but I'm a sucker. But not a complete sucker, because I'm still in a holding pattern when it comes to Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Skeleton Crew that they revealed at New York Comic Con last week. At least for the most part. You know where I'm going here. I'll wait and see what I think of the show before making any kind of final decisions, because judging something without having any kind of knowledge or experience with it seems kind of silly, you know? I mean, we can go by how the figures look, and in that department, yeah, some of these come off as kind of generic. There are a couple I'm grabbing based on looks alone. So again, partial sucker. And I'm swinging back around to these because Hasbro sent out promotional images after the last rewind, so there's something to look at here. But like I said, the kids come off as kind of generic, like Fern, who may have some custom potential now that I think about it. Same for Wim and KB. Even with the Cyclops goggles, they are both more kids going to school than anything. Again, visually, before we've seen anything of the show. Neil looks good. The colors pop, and it's an alien type. Still a child, but the blues, the orange, the reds, the trunk stands out. It makes it more unique. GIJoe, and I'm probably still butchering that. I find myself looking at the gold accents on the jacket more than the actual figure. I don't know, they seem very ornate for how the rest of the costume is presented. But it kind of plays into a pirate look. He's got the big jacket, he's got the v-neck, the baggy shirt, the boot cuffs. But that may be influenced by Captain Brutus having pirate right there in the name. Out of all these, this is my main want. I may flounder on Neil, but I'm definitely picking up Brutus. This is Star Wars in my head. There's a grunge to it. It's a mean-looking alien type in swashbuckling gear, and I'm just realizing that this may not be Goonies in space. It's Peter Pan. Or a mix of the two. Or neither. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't seen anything of Skeleton Crew, so I'm making no decisions yet. I'll watch it all the way through and then form an opinion. If I like it, I'll pick up some figures. If not, I'll go back and pick up some older figures from Star Wars that I do enjoy. Life goes on until it doesn't. And that will have nothing to do with Star Wars. So, yeah, there I am. We're also going to go back and talk about the Hasbro GIJoe Classified Series retro card reveals, because those went up for pre-order this week. That means there's more pictures to look at. I have not been keeping up with all the Viper variations, but there are some new things here, right? And I hate to say that out loud, because a lot of this may be sourced from other figures, but to me, in the Viper, especially the pants, right? Didn't the original have the ribbing on the inside above the thigh swivel, and then... No. That's backwards. It was on the... Wait, no. See, I can't even remember. I just remember thinking the ribbing is on one side, and then below that, on the leg, it's on the other. Now, it looks like it's sculpted on both sides, at least below the thigh swivel at some point. It's vintage feeling. It's vintage looking. That's all that matters. Rock and Roll appears to be the same sculpt as the previous release, just in different colors. More of a drab green, no tan, no tattoos. No devil horns, no wrist gear, more generic colors to the weapons. I do like the metallic on the brass though. And then I think Dr. Mindbender is just a straight up re-release of the exclusive, which is good because that was hard to get. A lot of people missed out. A lot of people don't have that. So here you go. It's the same, just without some of the more wackier accessories. And we all need more crazy shirtless scientists on the shelf, right? But to finish it off, we're gonna go back to the New York Comic Con G.I. Joe Classified Series digital reveals because one, Tony with the Hasbro team posted better pictures, and two, I have a little redemption to work up. Well, okay, I don't have much else to say about the Cobra Outhouse and Trench Viper, other than it's a lot more involved than I originally thought. Again, I saw the digital reveals ran straight out, but it looks good. It's a diorama piece. You can get several, throw them all together, and have a whole battlefield. I gotta guess there's a Joe version coming, right? Well, okay, another thing I will point out, oh, look at those eyes. This guy's seen some shit. He has spent a little too much time in the trenches. Footloose looks even better up close. I love the camo, and I'm gonna stick with my Pedro Pascal comparison. But expanding on that, I had a lot of comments on the last rewind saying, hey, that would look great on a Mandalorian body, so I guess I'm in for two Footlooses. Footlooses. I just screwed up my own brain. Is the plural of footloose footloose? But that's okay. That leaves me with an extra body. I can take off the gear, find another head for it, generic G.I. Joe soldier. Gotta find uses. Playday! The Legacy Collection Fireman? No notes. This is great. This is fantastic. It's one of those jack-of-all-trades figures. Even if you don't collect G.I. Joe, other shelves need firefighters, right? It would fit right beside your Marvel Legends. Fit right in. Put it with Spider-Man and the rest, and boom. I hope to see more Legacy Collection G.I. Joe figures. Then there is this, and I'm sticking to my guns by calling this my most anticipated G.I. Joe set in recent history. Sure, the bear isn't as big as it was in the cartoon, but we all know that the G.I. Joe team kills it when it comes to animals, and I doubt this is going to be any different. It's going to be a sweet-ass action figure. And yeah, we've had more than our fair share of dark-clothed, faceless, voiceless specialists in the line, but I love the animated look. And I love the commando look, so this is targeted right at me. I mentioned that I had a custom planned, but I am more than happy to buy the official version. What I'm saying is I am all over the Polar Bear and Storm Shadow 2-pack when it comes out. And that's all I have at this exact moment in time, but when you're watching this, I'm already going to be behind because MCM London is happening this weekend, and Dwight's there, going to show something Marvel Legends. It's already been announced. But I'm recording on Friday morning, so we'll come back around. On top of that, Hasbro 1027 is happening Sunday, so they may show new stuff there too. Well, we'll definitely have to talk about that next week. Or before that, maybe we'll do another video or a live stream or something. I keep threatening live streams, but life keeps getting in the way. As always, special thanks to the Nobots, the Patreon. I would not be able to do this without them. So, as always, I appreciate the support. I posted my Playday on Thursday, and there I showed my custom Marvel Legends Excalibur Rachel Summers Phoenix, which I've been wanting for a long, long time. But as I was laying in bed last night trying to go to sleep, I was thinking of toys, of course, and realized, oh wait, Hasbro's in London. That would be the perfect opportunity to reveal their Rachel Summers Phoenix. They've been hinting at it for a long time. They have to finish Excalibur. So come on. The only problem here is I'm talking about this now, and the video is going up after whatever they reveal. So I either look foolish or just, well, that doesn't matter. I'm used to that. But I don't know. I wish it was Saturday. But that's discussion for a later time. Until then, buy some toys, start some customs, tear up some plastic, or tear them out of the package, put them in the display, or hang the boxes on the shelf. Whatever floats your collecting boat.